Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we are again with another video. This is actually one of my favorite ones. Um, it's going to be good. Yesterday, we addressed something that Jesus spoke about, and we spoke about um, who and what Jesus healed when he came off of the Sermon on the Mount and how that relates to you. Today, we're going to stay in that same vein of healing. Yesterday, we spoke about the leper, how Jesus went to the leper, reached his hands out, went above and beyond the religious confines that separated the religious folk and the person who they deemed unclean. And today, Jesus is going into Capernaum. He is going into Capernaum to continue on with showing you who you are in him. Yeah, so what Jesus did after we were molded, after he taught us from verses 5 through 7, who we are, how we're supposed to be molded, how we're supposed to be refined as citizens of the kingdom, and how supposed to carry ourselves boldly as a child of God. He is showing you, he is actually walking it out. He illustrated it with words, with molding you how you're supposed to be. Now he's actually going out and demonstrating who we are when we really realize it comes to the full realization that we possess the power that's inside of him. So what he's doing now, as we're going to discuss, he went from cleansing the leper to now healing the person that was paralyzed. So if you listened yesterday or if you read the message that I sent out yesterday, and we spoke about how the leper is not about this physical this bacterial disease, it's about what's on the inside. You will understand the message today, because when we read this story about the man that has who is suffering from paralysis. Notice I said suffering from paralysis. We often depict that as this person has this physical ailment that prevents him from physically walking around. But I encourage you to dig deeper. I encourage you to dig deeper and understand the message, because Jesus had came to show you who you were when you possessed the Holy Spirit. So it's not about what's the physical aspect of what's going on. It's about what's underneath. And today we're going to talk about it. We're actually going to go Matthew chapter 8, verse 5 through 8. Just bear with me. I know the passage is a little lengthy, but it's going to make sense. This is what it says. We're coming from the NIV version, and this is what it says. Verse 5. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking for help. Let's just pause right there real quick. Jesus came and entered into Capernaum, and a centurion came asking for help. Does that remind you of something? Jesus was sent into the world, right? And we are to go through him and put it all at his feet. He came into the world. Just can you see the illustration? Jesus came into the world. Jesus went and entered into Capernaum. This centurion went to him to get something from the one who entered into the world. So what did Jesus come to do? He came to redeem, to restore, and to put the spirit back in you. Jesus went into Capernaum to restore, redeem, and to inject life into this situation, into this lifeless situation. Can't you see what Jesus had done? This story right here is actually about to sum up what Jesus did. So let's read verse 5 again. When Jesus had entered Capernaum, a centurion came to him asking for help. Lord, that's very important. Lord, he said, my servant lies at home paralyzed, suffering terribly. Jesus said to him, Shall I come and heal him? The centurion replied, Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof, but just say the word. But just say the word. Say it with me now. Just say the word, and my servant will be healed. Jesus went into Capernaum. Jesus entered into the world. Jesus came to redeem, to lift him up, and paid a price. Jesus came to restore. Restore to what? The place that we fell from. Then the centurion said, I don't need you to come. I just need you to say the word. It's all going to make sense. It's all going to make sense. Like the man with leprosy, this moment in scripture is more than just a physical healing. It is actually a kingdom revelation. You see, if all we see is the physical healing in the leprosy, if all we see is the physical healing in this paralysis situation, we have not even scratched the surface, because all we see is the surface. It's much deeper. It's much profound than that. It's more profound. It's much richer. There's so much theological depth taking place here, and it causes us and requires us to go beyond surface level revelation. See, the centurion's servant, he wasn't just sick, he was paralyzed. But Jed, you just said it's not about paralysis. It's not in the physical aspect. Jesus came to restore the spirit man. Now watch this. He wasn't just sick, he was paralyzed. And as a result of it, he was suffering. I'm about to really drive it home. As a result of him being stuck because of the paralysis, he was suffering. Watch this. He couldn't move. He couldn't serve. He couldn't respond. He was stuck in helplessness. That's not only a physical condition, it is a spiritual one. Do you see the correlation? He was suffering. He couldn't move. He couldn't serve. He couldn't respond. He was stuck in helplessness. What if I told you, if we just alive and are not living, you too are stuck in helplessness? Because if we let our eyes be the judge of who we are, that's going to be your judge. It's way beyond that. Jesus came to let us be the help. Jesus came to remove the shackles. Jesus came to remove the bondage. Jesus came to release everything that was holding us down. Jesus came so that we can be a servant. Jesus came so that we could respond. Respond to what? Any and everything. Because Jesus was showing you who you were, who you are. We are here to be the response to the brokenness. We are here to serve the people who need serving. That is everyone. We came to move. See, when you're in paralysis, you can't move. You can't expand the kingdom. Jesus came to restore you, to show you who you are in him. Many people today are walking around spiritually paralyzed. This is not about a physical ailment. This is about being spiritually paralyzed or suffering from spiritual paralysis. See, Jesus had came to show us who we are when he molded us in the Beatitudes and showed us the mindset that we should have and showed us who we are in him and showed us that he came to show us that we can do what he does. But a lot of us are still on that narrow road, or on that wide road, I'm sorry. A lot of us will go to Jesus and say, Lord, Lord, but Jesus will say, I never knew you. Because we're letting our eyes determine our outcome. We're not operating with spiritual authority. We're suffering from spiritual paralysis due to spiritual malnourishment, which is the result which leprosy comes from, the poor. Mm. Many people are walking around spiritually paralyzed. Paralyzed by what? By fear. Mm. That holds a lot of us back. Fear. Afraid to go into the unknown. Afraid to do what Abraham did when God told him, I need you to leave from where you are to go to a place that I will show you. We are afraid of being uncomfortable. Jesus wants us to be comfortable in the uncomfortableness. What else are we paralyzed by? We're paralyzed by shame. Not only are we paralyzed by fear of the uncertainty, we're paralyzed by shame. Oftentimes, we are very shameful to profess our love for the Father in public spaces. We're ashamed to go to your job and say, yes, I am a follower of Christ. Because we don't want others to stop communicating with us. We want to still be part of the team. Don't be afraid. Don't be shameful. What else are we paralyzed by? Now, this is a big one. This is one that holds us in spiritual bondage. We are paralyzed by the weight of religious tradition. Mm. We're so married to the religious systems and institutions and oftentimes corporations that is actually stopping you from going forth. Because sometimes our religion becomes the thing that we strive to be like instead of being like Christ. So not only are we fearful, not only are we shameful, but now we're paralyzed by religious traditions. And lastly, we're paralyzed by disappointment, failure, and unbelief. That unbelief part, what do you mean, Jed? We're paralyzed by the unbelief because we prayed for a thing and God didn't move. What if I told you God was telling you to hold on just one more day, but you gave up the faith? So we're paralyzed by not something that God did. The unbelief in that part. We're paralyzed by our own unbelief because we just didn't want to hear God because we thought that he wasn't moving fast enough. And just like the servant, they're unable to move forward on their own. Sometimes we need somebody to go on our behalf when we are paralyzed by fear and shame and weighed down by religious traditions and our unbelief. Sometimes we need to reach out to someone who is spiritually strong in all of those areas that you are weak so that they can intercede on your behalf. But if you're shameful, you won't surround yourself with people who are strong. See, Jesus is talking to the disciples and he's telling them, he said, I need you to follow me. Remember, don't get lost in all of the teaching. Before the teaching, Jesus went to the disciples and said, follow me. He said, follow everything. Don't follow just the things that I do. You follow what I say. Because he's saying when you go out into the world, when I send you out into the world, there's going to be people who are paralyzed. There's going to be some people who are spiritually unclean, spiritually malnutrition. And we need to follow what Jesus did and said so that we can help the people who are suffering on the inside. Don't be afraid. Don't be shameful. Don't let religions hold you back. Don't let your unbelief get out of your own mind. Start seeing with your spiritual eyes. And then when we realize that our physical eyes are just an illusion. So just like the servant that the centurion is interceding for. A lot of us are paralyzed because we're afraid and we're stuck in our helplessness. Therefore, we can't serve. Therefore, we can't progress and expand the kingdom. And therefore, we're not effective because we're too ashamed to reach out to people who are strong, because we don't want people to look at us differently. But watch this. The centurion stepped up on his behalf. Talking about the disciples now. Just think about, put yourself in the shoes of the centurion. Put the disciple right there in the shoes of the centurion. The centurion stepped up on behalf of the person who was lacking, who was unresponsive, who couldn't get out of his own way. Remember, this is not about a physical ailment. This is about someone who just could not move spiritually because he was shameful and fearful and weighed down by the Pharisees and the Sadducees in the institutions of that time. He came to Jesus. Now watch this. Don't miss this. He came to Jesus not for himself. The centurion came to Jesus not for himself, but for someone else. How many times do you pray for other people and don't ask for something for yourself? This is a perfect illustration and demonstration. The centurion, he went to the feet of the king and said, I'm not coming. I didn't come all of this way. I did not approach you for me. I came to you because someone that I love dearly needs an ignition point, something that'll be the catalyst to propel him forward so that he can get out of his slump, so that he can get out of his way, and so that he can stop being hindered by the circumstances and situations around him. Do you go to the throne on behalf of other people? Or do you always have to add yourself to the equation? What if I told you it's much bigger than you? It's much bigger than you. It's about the one who needs a healing. It's about the one who needs restoration. It's about the one who needs life injected into him. Remove you, elevate someone else. He believed Jesus didn't have to be in the room to bring recovery. Just say the word. That's all it takes. I want to let you in on a little secret. I want to tell you how I look at the word. The word is not just empty air. The word takes form. Because when Jesus spoke the word, provision went with the word. And in order for provision to go with the word had to become flesh. What do you mean, Jed? Every word that the Father speaks is the word that Jesus speaks. And all those words, it never returns void. It always accomplishes what it was sent out to do, and it prospers everything that it was sent out to do. How is that possible? Because the word is not just emptiness. The word has become an identity. So every time you speak the word, it's not just empty words. It's an actual person that goes forth. So when the centurion told Jesus to speak the word, he was sending Jesus forth. He saw Jesus in the word, and the word went before him to accomplish and to prosper the request that was brought to the king. Don't miss that. If you miss everything that I teach about, don't miss that point. Jesus didn't have to actually be in the room. He sent the word, and that's all it took. Now pay close attention. Jesus responded with the willingness to go. Shall I come and heal him? Shall I come and heal him? Now, what is faith? What is faith? Faith is believing what you can't see. And you believe as it is, even if it hadn't already become yet. So this is a test right here. Jesus is saying, let me test to see how much faith do you really have. Do you really have faith? Jesus asked him, okay, this is your request. This is your petition. But let me see how much faith you really have. Are you asking me so that I can come and I can lay hands on him? Or do you believe without even seeing? Mm. The centurion responded, the way he responded to Jesus, it reveals something very deep. It's a deep spiritual insight that we should all take heed of. Now, this is what he said. He said, I am not worthy to have you come under my roof, but just speak. Just speak. Just give me the word, and I'm going to believe that it's already done, even if I don't physically see it. Healing will come. This is what kingdom faith looks like. What type of faith do you have? The centurion has displayed kingdom faith in this scenario when he went to the king and asked for healing and said, no, I don't need you to physically go. I just need you to send your word forth. Now that's kingdom faith. It goes even further than that. When you have kingdom faith, you have to believe that it's already done, even if you don't see it. Do you have faith in what you're asking for? Or are you like I used to be? I used to say, oh no, you have to show me first. I remember a while ago, I used to say, oh no, if this is what you want me to do, if this is what you want me, if this is where you want me to go, you have to show me first. But I can tell you now, I have kingdom faith. No. You just tell me, and I believe it, and I'm going to operate it in it just as it's done. As soon as you give me the word, it's already done in my eyes. In my mind, it's already done. As soon as I receive the word, it is already done. Even if I don't walk in it from 5-10 years from now, it's already done. I just go where the word goes. Y'all, that's gonna catch y'all a while. You know, it's gonna catch y'all tomorrow. Now watch this. This is what kingdom faith looks like. It doesn't rely on emotion, your senses. It doesn't relate on it doesn't rely on the atmosphere. It doesn't rely on physical proximity. Now watch this. This is what kingdom faith relies on. It depends on the authority of the king's word. When Jesus speaks, even spiritual paralysis must release its grip. And this is the power that Jesus is giving back to the people if they are molded correctly. Now, what do you mean if they're molded correctly? Jesus said, I'm coming off the Sermon on the Mount. I told you who you are. I showed you how to operate. Now I'm about to demonstrate everything that I was teaching. Now, if you were molded like Jesus and you're walking like Jesus and you're talking like Jesus and you're acting like Jesus and you're walking like Jesus and you're speaking with authority like Jesus because you know what the authority that lies, that comes inside of you. If you are molded correctly in the image, in the likeness of God, as Jesus demonstrated, this is the power that you have. We're waiting on Jesus to come back and heal the sick. We're waiting on Jesus to come restore the people who are suffering from spiritual paralysis. But Jesus is simply saying, I have released the word to you because that is why I came. Now I want you to release the word. The power that Jesus has, he has transferred it to you. Now you go speak life into someone who is lifeless and helpless. Now you go heal the sick. Now you go heal the one who is suffering from spiritual paralysis. Now you go. Jesus wants you to go. The word has already been released. We just have to walk in it. So let me ask you this. Only you can answer this. Where are you paralyzed? What area of your life? spiritually? Where are you paralyzed? What's keeping you stuck? What ailment are you dealing with that's keeping you stuck where you are, that stopped you dead in your tracks? What's keeping you from serving, moving, or responding to God's call? We were created to go forth. We were created to move. We are created to expand. We are created to represent and represent the Father. We are created to walk in heaven while we are alive on the earth. But you can't do that if you're stuck. You can't do that if you're paralyzed. You can't do that if you're moving. And you can't do that if you're not responding to God's call. Now watch this. You've been begging Jesus to come in a specific way. Maybe it's he doesn't need to come. You don't need him to come the way that you expect. Maybe all you need to do is believe his word and receive the healing that's already been spoken. Just maybe. It's not a God thing or a Jesus thing. Maybe it's just an unbelief thing. Hear the word. Receive the word. Walk in the word. It's already done. Because when the kingdom comes, it breaks paralysis, both physical and spiritual, with just one word. So I'm going to leave you with this. I'm going to encourage you with this. Now walk in your dominion and start speaking. The word has already been released. Now it's up to us to receive it, go forth, so that we can begin to speak the word into the sick, into the ones who are suffering from spiritual paralysis. It's not a God thing. It's an unbelief thing. Receive the word. Walk in the word. Become the word. I love y'all.